So we're going to kind of finish up the graphic novel discussion that we started in the last video. So we're going to look at Richard McGuire excerpt from his comic or graphic novel here. And it basically tells the story of one person's life. And then later on, he did create an interactive version for a computer or tablet. So this was actually first published on paper in 1989. And it tells the story of one person's life as it progresses in a single house at various moments in time. So this is actually the screenshot of the interactive version, which is accessible on either a computer or tablet. It's from 2015. And it basically, each frame, a viewer can click on it and then kind of unfold the story themselves. And it's definitely an interactive piece. So this series of examples, we can kind of see the progression from comic strip, simple comic strip, the one about the child's dream, all the way, to digital graphic novels, such as this example here by Richard McGuire, excerpt from here. Here's a history of comic video. I might end up doing something with that. We'll see. Just check the week for, I believe, week 5. So we're going to talk about contemporary approaches. So some artists create works in new ways using new media and then label them drawings because there's no other name that really describes what they do. So that's kind of what happened with Julie Mehretu, Back to Gondwanaland from 2000. And it's ink and acrylic on canvas. We'll take a look at that. It's 8 by 10, so it's actually kind of small. And she uses drawing and painting in the same work. Actually, this is feet, so it's large. It's not small. It's 8 feet by 10 feet. Sorry about that. And then she also includes colored swatches of cut paper, along with drawn ink lines. So, some of these lines are drawn with ink. And she makes abstract drawings, so this is definitely an abstract drawings. But the shape she uses suggests the impersonal public spaces, such as like offices or airports or stadiums. So it kind of has some architectural type elements to it that make it seem like, maybe these are large windows or large doors to the entrance of a building. So kind of like stadiums or airports, classrooms, those kinds of things. And even the colors she uses are very kind of institutional in a way. And drawing has been seen traditionally as an organic process, but her works do not look entirely handmade. I actually have a video on her too. I don't know if we'll do anything with that, but if we were actually in class, we'd be actually watching these. But for the sake of saving a little bit of time, we'll keep moving. Ingrid Calamé, number 334 drawing. Tracings from the LA River and Acer Mattel Steel. So we'll take a look at that piece, and basically it's a colored pencil drawing from rubbings taken from an abandoned steel plant in New York and the Los Angeles River. So this artist, Ingrid, she goes around and she takes a media, like probably charcoal or something, or a colored pencil, and she lays it down on a surface such as an abandoned steel plant, so maybe a steel beam, and then she actually rubs it over the surface to get that texture from the rubbing. That's what a rubbing is anyway. She can get texture. So that's kind of how she created this piece. So like colored pencil on tracing mylar. So it's 115 and a fourth inch by 75 inches. So that's actually fairly large. And so she actually takes rubbings from highly textured surfaces. She basically visited an abandoned steel plant in upstate New York and the cement line pathway of the Los Angeles River. And she kind of selects and combines rubbings, and then she overlays them and then copies each layered with colored pencil. So each color in a final drawing comes from a different initial rubbing. And these drawings render the most minute details of the floor beneath us exactly and painstakingly in images of eerie beauty, as the book would say. So, moving on. An increasing but small number, still small, number of artists have begun to create digital screen-based drawings. So Carla Ganis makes self-portraits using selfies and then altering them using digital media. And the selfie drawings is a series that she did of 52 works that she created over the course of 1 year in 2015. And she put her photographic self-portrait through all sorts of manipulations in a digital way, adding text or drawing on top of them, adding layers or colors or cropping or duplicating them. So she kind of used a little bit of traditional media, but mostly in the computer. And many of these drawings refer to earlier works in the history of art. So number 41 in the series shows her own body poking out of the Tower of Babel. So this is kind of an ancient relic of a building. And here she is. She's poking out of this. Here's her legs poking out. And there she is. She's got some kind of writing instrument in her hand. And this is kind of based on the famous 1953 work called Tower of Babel. So she's kind of referencing art history here, but also updating it with the media that she's using, which is digital media. So Photoshop and Illustrator and some of those digital softwares along with the computer. And she created some of the clouds with the clone stamp tool in Photoshop. And we see the artist herself doing financial calculations on a screen with a stylus. So I guess this is a stylus here. And the numbers are backwards as if she's writing on the other side of a transparent screen. So she's kind of reflecting that this is a screen. So it's a really kind of a very contemporary take on drawing, really. And so in conclusion, artists throughout history have made self-portraits as vehicles of self-examination, and Ganis really sees herself in the latest media, although she's filtering her identity through historic images such as this Tower of Babel. And we've seen a lot of examples in this lecture, and drawing is definitely an immediate way to communicate through imagery. And it enables artists to share their ideas, their feelings, their experiences, and imaginings with us, whether in a sketch, a preliminary or preparatory study, or even a finished work in and of itself. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for this week. We'll see you next week.